Hi, this is Damian and Maddison from Puppies Downunder here. Today we're going to take a moment to look at the breeding history and the details of the parents each time we choose to breed. Today we're going to be showing some of the genetics and the data there from the breeding parents, Vera and Chief, who are the parents of the Groodle litter that we have available now, just born. So I'll let Maddison take us through some of the paperwork and we look at the genetics and some of the profile details of how we put together the records of our breeding parents and how we use that to determine what's suitable to breed with and what's going to be able to produce the healthiest and the best puppies. So Maddison, if you want to take us through and we'll have a bit of a look.
So today we got Vera's folder, so you can see it's got her information at the front, so we know it's her.
Yep, so we got all the specs there in terms of when she was born, the mum Vera, date of birth, what breed she is, what her colour is, and her size in terms of height and the weight.
Yep.
This is her vaccination history, so we have the vaccination records. These are all the vaccinations that Vera's had. We make sure we keep on top of that, and there's a regular examination as well that she undertakes. Each time we breed with Vera, we undertake a clearance to breed, so there's a special examination from our vet that ascertains that we determine her breeding suitability and whether she's okay for to breed with, and there's a multi-step process when it comes to that. So we're fairly vigilant when it comes to undertaking those extra steps of diligence, making sure that our puppies are healthy and they're produced in the most ethical and safe means possible. So thanks, Maddison. You want to flick it over through?
Yeah.
Yep, so there's a number of screens and lots of health checks and breeding clearance
certificates. This is just a yearly health check they get when they're vaccinated.
Yep.
So they get that.
Yep.
And then the breeding clearances.
Great. Yep. And then there's just ongoing, lots of checks. So every time there is a litter born, we produce a litter data screen, and that captures all the puppies and their microchip numbers once they're born, and we keep track of how many they've had and the health of the puppies. So there's a maximum of five litters you can have with a breeding mum, but often it's they don't even reach the 5 litters. So registrations is something we need to have with the local council, so we need to make sure that they're registered with the local council and they're all up to date. That gets done on an annual basis. Now this is what we're looking at today. This is a genetic report of the parents. So mum Vera, this is from Orivet who does our genetic testing. So there is a number of tests that we undertake on our breeding parents before they even qualified to be able to breed with, and what that looks like. These are the diseases and things that we actually test for. So these are all the available and known possible diseases we can actually get tested with Orivet, and everything is labeled with a marker so we can determine exactly what's what. Typically there are a number of different diseases that we actually check for. Everything here it's either negative or clear, so there's no variant detected, which is the ideal scenario, having a dog without any genetic issues. However, on the odd occasion we end up with something that is a carrier. So there is one copy of the variant detected. This particular one, this is PRA. It's a rod cone degeneration. That's a very common trait that you see in poodles, and obviously breeding with a poodle will see that in there. The idea with breeding, if you're actually not knowledgeable that your dog is a carrier for this particular variant, if you're breeding with another dog, so the sire of it, so if the sire of this particular litter was also a carrier of PRA, the probability of having a problem or that chance of PRA popping up is extremely high. So we make sure that we're breeding always a carrier to a clear. Carriers to carrier is something we're very, very careful of, so that's something that doesn't happen. Anything that comes up as a positive means that the possibility of having that issue jumps up to about 50%. They actually don't qualify for breeding at all, and that's just our particular protocol. Doesn't necessarily mean you'll have an issue, but we make sure we're actually not breeding with it. So I think in form of comparison, if we can have a look at the father, Chief's genetic summary, and we can talk through that a little bit as well. So let's have a look at his genetic reports. Let's look at his genetic reports, Maddison. So Chief's genetic report here, there's a genetic summary here which shows all the different types of diseases. So if we look at the different diseases here, so this is Chief, he's a Moyen poodle. born on the 18th of March 22. So these are the tests that we're actually checking for. And as we can see, the important one here.
There's more in the back.
So they're all negatives, but
Yep.
we're looking for PRA.
Yeah, there's more in the back. So
And here we go there. So the PRA, which is the prodrome cone degeneration, which is the blindness that poodles often get, that's a negative, and that's the important thing. You're breeding a carrier to a negative, and so that gives you a bit of an idea. In terms of not breeding with a dog without these genetic results, you don't know what you're breeding with.